and welcome to the beginning of the week. That's right, it's Sunday, Sunday Fun Day, right here with the Prime Time King. Chris, the man of the hour, the tower of power himself, 24/7 Unit Media. Vigilante, the ever mysterious Vigilante Williamson, and U-Bomb Kirk will be not with us tonight, but you got me, your announcer, Baron Orban Tag. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Prime Time King.
Vigilante Wednesday here on another episode of the Primetime Kings.
I guess I was talking out of my butt. My apologies. And the ever mysterious Vigilante Williamson is here with us.
Yeah, I slipped in a little late.
Oh, okay.
A little late. I was actually going to talk in the back. I'm working on a little side project, so if I'm in and out.
Okay.
No, you good, man.
You know, because I was doing it last week, and I'm like, I should let you guys know so I don't miss the conversation.
No, you good, man. Yeah, shit, man. Happy to see you, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I told Baron, hey, we probably rock with about 2 or 3 subject matter. I'm just putting 3 up, and figured it would be 3 simple deals that I thought was pretty interesting. Actually,
one of them was like, okay, the Cloverfield one was an interesting one,
right? And then
he's out taking. Oh man!
Right, and then there goes my 3. So, and then the second one with Terry Gilliam, that's an interesting one. Wow. Well, I don't know whichever one you guys want to start off with. And I just dropped the third one, so it's, those are my 3, man. So,
well, I do have the Terry Gilliam one up.
Okay, we can just start with that then.
Yeah, all right. So basically, they're doing Taika Waititi's doing the reboot, the remake of Time Bandits, and Terry Gilliam there, and Terry Gilliam will basically bounced off the set. So it's like what my whole thing is what would have happened to get to make him storm off the set, with something that he's been tied to for the last 40 years or so, 35, 40 years. Yeah. So
40 is about right, because that was about 82 or so, or some 81, 82, something like that. And my question is why make a remake of that film? You don't need to.
Well, that's unfortunately that's the way Hollywood works. They don't care. They just because Hollywood is so frightened of original property, just frightened to death of original property. They don't even try. Is the article up?
I got it right up here. So it's from the World of Real, your place for alternative movie news. This is byline by Jordan Rumi. I hope I said the name right. So Terry Gilliam walked off the set of Taika Waititi's Time Bandits. And of course, there's Terry Gilliam, Minnesota boy himself, that is an expatriate. Taika Waititi is currently in New Zealand, where he's from, directing the first 3 episodes of his Apple series adaptation of Time Bandits. Now, I didn't know it was going to be a TV show.
See, I didn't know that either.
No. This is an ambitious project that could go easily wrong. No shit, Sherlock. Terry Gilliam, the 1981 movie's director, had perfectly balanced that fine line between humor and drama. Gilliam, who has an executive producer credit on the Apple series, decided to visit the New Zealand set last month. The cast and crew were soon realized just how irritated Gilliam was by what he was seeing. I like the understatement on that one. This is even more understatement. He wasn't happy. He kept groaning and making remarks, one crew member told me. Terry was supposed to be there for 2 weeks, but he left after 3 days. That's not a good sign. The same person adds, his disdain for the entire project was quite obvious. You probably won't be hearing any praise for the series from him anytime soon. Gilliam not being a Taika Waititi fan isn't a total shocker. It probably doesn't help that Gilliam has absolutely zero creative input when it comes to the new series. Fact of the matter is that these two filmmakers have different styles of comedy, both tonally and thematically. Thank you. Waititi's comedy is more infantile, where Gilliam that's not necessarily praise. Whereas Gilliam veers on the cheeky satirical. I would say heavy satirical.
It's also not incorrect. I mean, it is. He does have a more like I would say heavy-handed, kind of slapsticky, silly-ish.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Silly is the word I would use. He has a more silly comedy style.
Well, a
lot of people like it though. I'm not gonna. I mean, as much praise as Thor Ragnarok got, I didn't see it, but a lot of people like this. So I don't want to just shit on Waititi.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, Waititi, yeah, the thing is he doesn't have reverence for things he does that's other people's property. And he can be as wild as he wants with his own stuff, but when you start playing it with other people's, you have to remember where it came from. And of course, Terry Gilliam was the director of such classics as Monty Python and Holy Grail, Brazil, 12 Monkeys, and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and a ton of others, by the way. He is currently looking for funding on a new project. According to Gilliam, the premise of the upcoming new film would involve God wanting to wipe out humanity because he's so disappointed by what has gone down on the planet Earth, only for Satan to convince God to create a new Adam and Eve to create a new improved humanity. What does that have to do with Time Bandits?
What?
I don't know.
Or is that his movie that he wants to do?
Maybe that's the movie.
Yeah, I think that might be the movie that he's trying to get funded. But
okay, they didn't do a good job segueing on that one. Okay, but okay, I was going to say if that's Time Bandit, screw it. But okay, so that sounds like a Terry Gilliam film.
Yeah.
So I look. I can tell you this. I think from my interpretation of what's going on, it looks like Taika pulled. This is probably so woke, man, that he came in and it just fucking flipped his flipped his wig back, man, and he was like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?" Mm-hmm. Supposed to be there for 2 weeks and left after 3 days. Yeah, and probably the third day, probably didn't stay there for too long. He probably was there for a little bit and was like, "Man, fuck this, I can't do another 2.5 weeks of this," and just bounce.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He's supposed to be there for 2 weeks. He couldn't do another week and a half, so he got up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I mean, Terry Gilliam has a very unique style of humor.
It's old school.
Yeah, he's old school, but he's also
that's the difference, man. That's the difference between the funny people, the humor of today, and a lot of your older comedians and your old comedy movies, and it's two totally different brands. The era's different, and the thing is, it looks like comedy didn't go over, like it didn't transcend, like it stopped at a certain point. It looks like basically around 2010, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It was like probably around the last where you was going to see some of the last of your good comedies. After that. Mm-hmm. The only thing that's been standing when it comes to comedy has been stand-ups. Your Chappelle stand-ups and shit like that. Other than that, dude, comedy's died, man. Like somebody fucking stabbed in the back and just Jack the Ripper that motherfucker. And it's like it's crazy because think about 10 years ago. You would have said, I mean, you could tell it was changing, but you would have never thought to the point where it is right now, where people would like right now they wouldn't do a Grown Ups 3, or if it did, it'd be so watered down that people wouldn't even want to watch it. It was kind of like what Kevin Smith did in Clerks 3.
Mm-hmm.
Clerks is dead, man.
Oh yeah, it was.
Like, he murdered his own shit. Because he killed. Like, one of them is dead now, and one of the characters is. So it's like at that point, I don't know. He just killed.
Did he finally off Dante like he did wanted to do in the first film?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Well, the thing is one thing they're wrong about in there when they're saying, yeah, he has a satirical. Terry Gilliam has a satirical sense of humor, but it's also surrealistic. I mean, all you have to do is look at Time Bandits itself, Brazil, and even Baron Munchausen. I mean, it's a very surrealistic humor in filming style and look to that he has with that film. I mean, obviously his time with Monty Python really helped influence that, but I'm sure he brought his own sense of northern Minnesota type humor along with it and meshed it together. I mean, we're looking at almost, I don't know, it's just, sometimes his films are just absolutely beautiful with the surrealistic that he has. And Taika Waititi, I don't see that with him.
Man, look, before we go any further, I'd like to say what's up to everybody in the chat. What's up, Lord Thoth in the house, saying what's up to everybody. I say what's up to my man Socks Bulletin. What's up, Socks? Great to have you here. Hail to you, my brother, Lord Thoth. Brett Cohen, what's going on, Brett? My man, how's it, man? Great to have you here, man. Thank you, man. Yo, this is for you, Vigilante, from Brett. He says side project so long as she ticks all the boxes.
No, I wish. No, it's not. I'll let you guys know.
Is there something I should know?
Yeah,
that sounded even stranger. Let's just keep going.
I'm about to call you Jabalante here in a minute. Yeah, I ain't mad at you, dog.
What? Wait, what was that? Jabalante.
Shit, yeah, you about to hit out the park, man.
Oh, okay.
So Smash-a-lante is better.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, up the back there, swinging it, hit home run.
No, but again, this is not what that's involved with.
That's all good.
We can hope.
Because if that was the case, I just wouldn't be on the show. To be honest.
Oh,
nah, man. I seen you do a bunch of things at once. You're good, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you can't do a show and be hitting it out of the park at the same time and making it.
What's up, Sentient? Sentient is in the house. What's up, boy? And what Thought says, what's up? Sentient says Gilliam is competent, Waititi ain't.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I think Clerks 3 was awful. I keep hearing that, man. It's like, it's funny, man. It's like he was funny. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Well, it's heart attack.
No, I know, but it's like what happened, but at the same time, you still. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like,
why? Why?
I mean, I can understand, man. Shit affecting somebody so much to where it's like the whole everything about them changes, man. They're what they thought was funny is not funny no more. They try to straighten up. Everything changes. Lifestyle changes. Perspective changes. I mean, shit. I mean, I've dealt with some near life experiences a few times, man, and yeah, it does. It does change you in some ways, man. So I understand it, but damn, to the point where you want to kill off your own friend. Like there'll be nothing like, I don't know, Jane Silent Bob. Like Kevin Smith, man, he can fuck off now, but like just the characters and the way they've been ever since like Clerks and Mallrats and all that.
Right.
They actually been some solid characters, and I thought they were funny as hell, man.
Well, I love the animated show that he had.
Like all of them, man. Like Chasing Amy and just like all of them, man. I loved all the movies. The cartoons, everything, man. The cartoon movie.
Yeah,
dude, I own all that shit, man. And it's like they were funny, except for this one. Even Clerks 2 was what I thought was funny, man. Was Aria Dawson and all that. I thought that was funny. And then the Clerks 3, she's dead. the clerks die. It's like, dude, I don't know, man. It's like, why did you just, is it like is your life, now that you survived a heart attack, is your life so wild that you just sat there and, of course you reflected your life story into the movie, but then you fucked around and just killed off your characters, man.
Well,
and then I keep hearing how it's like the one dude, I think it's is it Randall? I think it is Randall. He's the one that's always been having the issues. So Randall gets the heart attack, but Dante dies. And
I like Dante.
Yeah, and Rosario Dawson, she dies. She shows up for like a few minutes in the movie, but she's dead. So she comes like as a dream or a flashback or some shit. And it's just like, why is it so grim, man?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, it affect him down to his creativity, what he went through. I mean, you had something that was extremely.
I think so, man. And I think it also changed the integrity of who he is, man. Also, man, it changed him up in more ways, than shit we can even imagine, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Kevin Smith fan in the first place, so when this all hit the fan, it's like it didn't affect me as much. But I had someone go, "Oh, you have to watch these films. Lent me, all the films from Clerks,
right.
Mallrats, Clerks 2. I think it was Clerks 2, and James Bond Strike Back." Yeah. And I thought they're okay. I mean, there's characters I liked. Like I like Dante. I'm glad that they didn't kill him in the first film like they intended to do, and of course he was in the animated show. For some reason, I like the character of Dante that he had there.
Right. Yeah,
he really seemed to be the everyman. He did a good job of making an everyman character, especially if someone who's worked in that industry, which I have had. I'm sure many of us had, where we were a clerk. But as that goes, Jay and Silent Bob were amusing in there. But really, you can tell the difference of his creativity changed after that heart attack, and it shouldn't have affected that. I mean, what was it that really got him that basically he's not the man he was, weeping at everything and being everybody's shell and and horror for all these projects, and then
right.
Bait and switching like they did with the He-Man and then
right.
Telling people that they're lying when they weren't lying, and attacking various content creators because they had the truth. So, I mean, as it goes, Smith, forget, if it has his name on it, I'm not interested in it. Just like Taika Waititi, he did some good stuff. I thought he played a good character in The Mandalorian with the IG droid. Right. But other than that, this man has no respect for anything, and it shows.
Right.
And it's like, of course, Jojo Rabbit or whatever the name of that movie. Obviously, that's an irreverent film, but that was his own film. That's his own take. That's his own style. That's his own creation. Don't bring that over to Marvel. Don't bring that over to Star Wars. Just
and bring respectful. Bring that shit to Time Bandits, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now you got that coming to the Time Bandits. We just don't need that.
And then you got Terry Gilliam all worked up. Hey, what you think about it, Vigilante?
About what? I'm sorry. Because I tried to talk a little bit, but now I'm just like, all right, man.
I'm sorry about that, Vig. Sorry.
No worries.
Just hit me upside the head next time.
Nah, because I don't know. I mean, you were talking about I remember you guys were talking about like dude having a heart attack and just Kevin Smith in general. I think I do think it is a combination of things. I mean, part of it, since Dildo is correct, the 90s, the humor style aged too. You know what I mean? Some of that stuff just doesn't work. Some of it was just when him having a heart attack was based upon his lifestyle, and a lot of his humor was based upon his lifestyle. He was a weed smoking, nerd type, comic book drink, and you know he didn't really think much of it. Then you have a heart attack. Now you're like, oh shit, family, and now you kind of have some PTSD about the heart attack. I think that's why he went so woke. He's thinking about his money now. He's like, you know, I gotta protect. That's the one little bit of like, I don't want to say like, you know, I feel for him because it's like, okay, he had this heart attack. Now he's thinking about how can I secure the most money for my family. So that's why he sold out everybody with the He-Man shit and all this other dumb shit he's been doing, crying and all this other stuff. Because he's in a different place. He's just like, man, I almost died and I just want to make sure my family's good. And I mean, not saying that's an excuse, but I do understand why everything about him has changed so dramatically because of that heart attack. And I'm not just blaming that. And just getting older, and like I said, he has a whole fucking family. Does he have grandkids and shit now?
No, I didn't think his daughter got pregnant. Yeah, I don't even think his daughter got married. I know she started dating like about 2 or 3 years ago.
How old is his daughter? I thought she was like in her mid to late 20s now.
Yeah, I thought she was probably like 24, 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Her name is Harley Quinn. Isn't it Harley? Yeah, Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Harley. He named after Harley Quinn. Yeah, the character.
Maybe I'm wrong. For some reason I could have sworn that he added grandchild.
Yeah, matter of fact, what was that? I think it was Clerks 3. Jay finds out he has a daughter and it's her, isn't it? Isn't that right? Or was that 2?
I didn't see Clerks. I don't know nothing about Clerks 3.
I don't know. I honestly can't say.
I think that's 3. If I'm not mistaken. I can't remember, man. It's something like that, man. It's and she ends up playing the daughter of Jay. Mm-hmm. So it's like you can just imagine, man.
Mm-hmm. You know, Sidney Delta was writing something, but it got me kind of thinking because in the movie, the one guy has a heart attack and the other one, and Dante dies, right? I don't know by intent or by subconscious, but is that kind of a symbol saying that him having a heart attack and Dante dying is basically him releasing the past, what he was doing in the past? A symbolism thing. And, you know, maybe I'm looking too deep into it. Maybe it was subconscious. Maybe he intended to. I don't know.
Right. Damn.
That part of him died. And that part, that, you know, because Dante in that movie Clerks is what shot him into stardom, into fame.
Yeah, I guess he just said, fuck it. You know, I guess he rather did it to his own movie instead of letting, I don't know who put it out. I know it used to be wasn't it New Line? No, it wasn't New Line. It was
not New Line. No,
no, it was an old. Was it one
of
the Weinstein affiliate company? What was that?
Was it Lionsgate?
No, I don't think it was Lionsgate. It was damn.
I can't think of what it is either. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it was. And it was a.
Was it Miramax?
Miramax.
Miramax. There we go. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Ding, 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 ding. And Vigilante won the internet today. 24. Tell him what he won.
Man, I tell you what, Miramax, boy, they put out a lot of. Ooh, they were killing it at one point.
Yeah, they were. You saw the name Miramax, so you knew you were going to see a freaking good movie.
Man, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they had the rights to him for a while. Man, I don't know. It was just some weird shit between him and Miramax. But yeah, man. I mean, he did a lot, man. Those characters were funny, man, for a long time, man. And it's just a shame to see them get killed off, man. And you know, it's like, you know, like the same way his humor went left, man. It's like, you know, but his humor came at a different time. It was like his humor would be more to the level of what Terry Gilliam is versus it being something that Taika Waititi would have done. See, the thing is, Taika Waititi, he's on that new woke humor. Like his shit is like this new age. What he thinks is funny was, I don't know, it's really some degrading shit versus what Terry Gilliam and Monty Python and the rest of them dudes were doing, man. it's like I say, they come from a different style of era. That slapstick kind of shit, that old school comedy. It's like, even if you look at, let's say, John Ritter or Jim Carrey, like their style of comedy, like their shit was more physical. Like John Ritter would sit there and trip over couches, fall over chairs, do all kind of shit. That's and a lot of people were doing that. You had Don Knotts doing stuff like that. So did Tim Conway.
Yep.
People from like the Carol Burnett show.
Yeah, definitely. And and that's it. John Ritter was just a master of that type of humor. I mean, how he was able to continue, going through that through the many years of Three's Company and other projects. But the thing is that humor is still around. I mean, people, even when the younger set gets introduced to that type of humor, they like it. I mean, Monty Python is still popular. You pull it out there. So the thing is that humor hasn't died. It just Hollywood ignores it. You started doing stuff like this again and putting not the woke crap, but actual good humor out there. You're going to have people will not turn away from it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this Cocaine Bear.
Mm-hmm. That is going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. Yeah, because Hollywood just stopped. A lot of it, you blame the woke. A lot of it was the superhero stuff. Everything just went into these big budget. They stopped doing small budget movies altogether. And I think they're starting to learn, okay, we need to. Hollywood was built on a combination of small, medium, and large budget movies, and the successes of those movies all contributed. And then it became just, let's just make these super, $200-300 million movies that make $1 billion. Let's keep trying for that. And then it changed the whole principles of how Hollywood operates. Hold on, I gotta mess with my mic.
Okay, sure. And why he does it, I just have to sit back and say is look at Megan, $12 million budget, and look how much money is raked in there. I mean, wait.
Hold on, you saying Megan is 12 million only?
12 million is what it took to make that film, and they're like 100 and some million, 150 million or something like that they've taken in worldwide. Right. And so, you know what? In that sense, Megan is a bigger success than Avatar 2. If you take a look at the return on investment. So on a $12 million budget, they made that much money. It proves that you don't need a big budget. You just need to have creativity and be able to work around constraints and be creative about it.
Mm-hmm. That's similar to Joker. Joker was a more profitable movie than Endgame. Even though Endgame made more, but it was because of the budget. The budget was so small. I've heard mixed. I've heard some people. I think it's an acquired taste. Like if you like the humor, you'll like it, and if you don't, you won't. Because I've heard people say it's terrible. But I've also heard people say, "Oh no, it's good, it's funny, it's." So I just think it's just and that's another risk with humor, though. Not everyone likes every type of humor, but some people who thought it was funny and thought it was clever liked it.
So where did it come from?
I don't know much about it. I haven't done much research into Megan, but I have seen it. It was a success.
No. What I'm asking, because I thought there was a movie. Wasn't there a movie out before, and then this is like a
sequel?
No.
That's what I was like.
No, people have been saying it's kind of a copy of Child's Play.
Yeah, that was the idea,
right? Yeah, but it also has other elements in it. But the big thing they're saying, this is like a Chucky film.
Yeah, but wasn't there something before? Now I own all the Child's Play. I own all the real weird ass crazy movies with the dolls coming to life. But this is a new one now. Right. This is something. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't there something that came out before this, like 2 or 3 years ago, and this is the prequel to that?
Don't think so. In fact,
or is this just the first one out the gate? And
first on the gate, they're going to do a sequel now.
Right, I heard about that.
But yeah, this is the first one out the gate with this one, and just to quote Pacific when it saw, he says, "Well, it's a good movie. I want to go and see it again." So, I mean, that's pretty good praise if you go to a movie think you were entertained, but even if it doesn't mean that you're going to go see it again. He says, yeah, there's plot problems and all that, but it wasn't woke. All that, it's like, it was a good popcorn film. PG-13. He said the one thing...
Black Adam.
Yeah, and he said the one thing about it, it was PG-13. They took out a couple of the violent, the uber violence. So he was saying there's a lot of younger set that were sitting there, and they were liking the film. Which what does that do? That gives you word of mouth, and it might not be a film for us, but this is kind of like okay, when we were kids and we would go and have the summer of movies. This is perfect for them and to try to get the youth back into the theaters.
And getting anyone back in the theaters. They need more small budget movies so they can make more movies that are, they've put so many movies to be lost and never found in the streaming, in the back of some streaming. I'm talking about independent or small budget movies. A lot of those things could probably use a theatrical release and probably be something that can make money on a small scale. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's some good movies on some streaming service that none of us know because none of us heard about it. And if that movie had a theatrical release, it would have had a little bit more something to it. And so those type of movies need a theatrical release. Cause I do like going to the theater. It's still a cool experience. So, and yeah, I'm with Central. I'm not being woke is not a measure of quality. I know, the woke thing. Or whatever, man. I'm past the whole woke thing, man. I'm past looking for it. I just want entertaining stuff. That's why actually one of the other subjects you want to talk about with that Cloverfield. I was like, okay, that's an interesting take.
Yeah. I love Cloverfield.
Because Cloverfield was a cult. I didn't see the sequel. Was it with John Goodman? I didn't see that one.
The Cloverfield Lane. Right.
Yeah. That first one was out cold. So I'm like, when they say it's one of the best monster movies, I'm like, man, I don't know. I didn't see every monster movie ever, but that's up there for me because they did that. They did that shit perfectly, man. And that was the first era of the found footage type film, and they made that monster seem frightening, and you didn't see him until the end. And that motherfucker seemed like the scariest thing on earth to the very fucking end. You see him, and I was like, that's how you're supposed to do it. That's like Alien, Jaws. When you make it. The threat is more threatening by showing his impact without showing him or her, the actual thing, and that they mastered that with that movie in the way.
Yeah, that was like kind of like they took that from Jaws.
Yeah, they took that from Jaws, and they took it to it. But to me, they took it to another level because it's a citywide threat. This isn't just a little shark. Right. So I thought that was smooth, and that was a smooth movie. That was a real smooth movie.
Yeah, and that's what's important because for Jaws for it to work is because Bruce, the shark, mechanical one, wasn't working properly. So what did they have to do? They had to work around it, and they made it better that way. And that's just it. Sometimes not seeing what's out there is more frightening than actually seeing.
Yeah. Even this movie, Cocaine Bear, I hope has some of that. Like, okay, we all do want to see this fucking Cocaine Bear rip through shit.
Yeah,
just move how you do it. You know what I mean? To make it have impact.
Right.
So yeah, even though this is more comedic, it still matters because I do want to see that thing rip through shit, man. I do want to see this. This is an interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know when it's coming out. I think.
February
24th.
Okay,
yeah, 24th.
The month.
Yeah, so basically in 1 month.
Check that one out for sure.
Yep. That bear's gonna be doing cocaine off a hooker's butt inside a nightclub. I tell you what.
Yep, like Neil Patrick Harris and Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So of course this comes from Yahoo News. Hello, Yahoo News. Byline by Coleman Spidell. I hope I said that right. Something about in this article is Lady Gaga. Who cares? Cloverfield is still the best monster movie ever made, and of course, there we can see the Statue of Liberty without her head.
Years.
Yeah.
You know what, man? Yeah. Man, you know what, man? If you pop that joke in right now to watch, yo, the effects, like everything, man. Like, dude, the thing is that movie. That movie is kind of like you ever watch Bushwick?
Bushwick.
No.
With dude from Guardians of the Galaxy with Batista.
No, I haven't seen that.
Man, look, man, it's
heard of it. Is that the one where what's going on, like Brooklyn or something like that?
It's like I think the Republic of Texas takes over, like in all the southern states, take over New York. Yeah, and the first place they hit is Brooklyn, man.
That's what it is. Yep.
And it's like,
and we will take New York down. I'm just joking.
Oh my goodness. But the whole thing with those two movies, it's like when you're watching it, it's like everything's happening all at once. It looks like the camera doesn't stop rolling. So it's like you just imagine from when the party starts and everything happens in Cloverfield. Like Bushwick is the exact same way from the time the first thing happened. Yeah, it's like time doesn't leap like 2 days later or a week later. It's like everything's happening within that hour and a half or 2 hours. You're watching that movie. It's like everything happened from that first minute and it's continuing on. It's like somebody's with the camera running with the two people and keeping up with them the whole time, whether it's whatever they're going through, and it's all happening like in real time. That's what Cloverfield's like to me, and that's what kind of blew me away. Like from the time they went to go see what all the explosions was, and hey, let's go to the roof, and all of a sudden shit started, going crazy, and then the head of the Statue of Liberty comes flying down the street, and dude, it was like everything just went rolling from that point, man. And it wasn't like there was no skips in time. It was fluid.
Well, kind of like the Blair Witch Project, you take a look at that film.
Right, exactly. And that same thing Vigilante was saying earlier. Yep.
Yeah, the Blair Witch was what kicked it off with that marketing, man. They got people. They could never do that now, but that was the era you still could. Is this real? You know what I mean? They did that with Faces of Death. They used to market stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I own all them jokers.
Oh, and you can do it again if you do it right. I mean, that's just the thing is, it hasn't been overdone, and that's what's important about it.
Man, I was just about to say, isn't it weird that, man, it seems like back in the day, there was less access, right? It was harder to be do media, right?
Right.
But we had more outlaw spirited companies that were just putting content out there like that. Right. You know what I mean? And now it seems like everyone is a lot safer in how they do things. Or what it is like I just said, a lot of these independent movie companies are just trying to hopefully get on Netflix or hopefully get on Hulu. And they'll never be promoted there, but I don't know, it's just like you don't get as much as this outlaw cool material when you should, because it's so much more. Cameras are cheaper, every part of it's cheaper, the information's all on the internet. If you got an interest, you can be a independent filmmaker with a line of credit and a bunch of YouTube. So it just seems like, man, you're not seeing that same spirit. So I just want to speak to that, but you can continue with what you guys are saying. I'm sorry.
Well, back in that days, you did have the video stores, so that's where a lot of lower budget films were discovered, as well. The big four movie channels. Movie channel itself, Skinamax, HBO, and Showtime, because they fill up some of the spaces of these films with these. Full moon entertainment films and such like that, where you first got introduced to these things, and it helped. What would you want to call it? The B movie, because they're technically not B movies in a sense, but they're the lower budget, smaller studios getting a foothold, and that's where you started getting Tim Thomerson known, and you got Cynthia Rothrock out there kicking butt. And various stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, you had, the experimentation with those smaller studios, and they did have an access, not necessarily the theater, but that's how they became the cult classics that they are. And and that was even mainstream films, stuff like Tron and even Time Bandits. These things were not, theater, film, even Blade Runner as well. They weren't. A box office, whatever, but they caught on with the videotapes, and then eventually with also the cable.
Yep, cable stuff. I'm thinking of other Christmas Story. We talked about that. That wasn't a big box office.
Yeah,
or if you guys remember the original Austin Powers, like the sequels were really big, but the first one didn't really blow in the box office. But I didn't see it in theaters, but I saw it on like Showtime or Stars.
Blockbuster.
or Blockbuster, you know, and then people rented it. It was like a word of mouth. Yeah. That's how Austin Powers got the sequel, because it didn't make that much money the first one in the first run. It was just like, whatever. But then people saw it on Showtime or saw it at Blockbuster, and it was like, oh, did you see this? And then they're making a second one, and then that second one hit huge. But it was based off of home video. I guess the home video market is not a streaming market, and it's not quite doing the same job of getting a lot of these movies out. Some, I can't say that, because you'll have the one, you'll have the show. You know what it is? They'll get shows out there and series, but movies not as much. I think that's where the difference is. A lot of series, you hear about different series word of mouth. Like I've heard about so many series I need to check out. Obviously, Yellowstone, Severance. What was that shit that was big? Squid Game a few years ago. Yeah, Squid Game, the series will get big, but movies, you don't hear about that as big with movies.
No.
And I would push back at this and say, Bushwick is filled with hipsters, but after 2020, I think everywhere is that's a normal day in America right about now.
Yeah.
It's a normal day in Bushwick, but in the movie they blame it on Texas.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh no, the hipsters took it over, but no, it don't matter where you are and if you're in the continental US or not the continental US, it gets popping. It's cracking everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the Austin Powers.
The one thing I thought about when it came to like entertainment that's coming out now to what it was, back 40, 50 years ago. I tell you like this, back, I would have to say like back in like the 60s, 70s, 80s. It was more, I can honestly say it was more of an impressionable time. And a lot of stuff was coming out, and it was the first of its kind, or if not that, it was the first time it caught on so big. And that's a lot of different things, a lot of franchises, regardless of whether it was like comic books or movies or Star Wars, or if it was comic books or whatever, cartoons, video games. It was just like, it was so much within a good 25, 30-year gap of, man, we got a lot of cool shit. Music changed, rap came in, disco was there. Disco died, but other shit kept popping up. We got, man, it was just, and we got so much good shit. And the thing was, people were taking a chance because it was a lot of first of its kind. We got, we got the Muppets. We got, like I say, we got, the Jim Henson Company. We have, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, and dude, we got E.T. and Gremlins, and we got all this shit, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future. Dude, we got so much original shit. But then it was during a time when doing that kind of shit was fucking cool.
Right.
And it was like, everybody was trying to be its own thing. And but it was like I said, it was in a.
I think part of that's the spirit of the spirit of how people act, though. Like
right. It was the time. Like I said, it was a time, and if you were doing
like that
something
with music too, everyone tries to sound the same. Even though there's some good artists. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of shit. Listen to that Metro Boomin shit like crazy. So I ain't gonna shit on the new artists, but the effort is. For a lot of people now in the social media era is to emulate. Don't get me wrong, good artists borrow, great artists steal. So the emulation is always a part of the creative process. But there is always, I feel like in the past eras, I'll go into this late the 2000s, 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s. Everybody wanted to be different, even if you were based off the same thing. Even if you sounded like the Beatles, you wanted to be the Who. Even if you were influenced by the Beatles, you wanted to be the Who. You didn't want to be the Beatles. You wanted to be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
The Stones.
The Monkeys. You want no, seriously, the Monkeys are different from the Partridge Family or whatever. Everything had its place. Or the Beach Boys. They're all different.
Oh yeah.
You can do that in the 70s. Even though you got a Led Zeppelin and a Black Sabbath, they're different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they're always pursuing differences, and they're trying to be original, that pursuit of originality, and you don't. And nowadays, I want to be the same. I want to have the same brands as everyone else. I want to wear Balenciaga. That's evil, but you know what I mean. People just want to. If they see it on Instagram, they want to be like that, and they want to be exactly like that. They don't want to. They want to be what's ever popular. That's the difference now. It used to be let me take something great and make it my own and be original. Now it's let me just take something great and try to hop onto it. And I think that's just not just that's from the creative on down to the fans, which is why we get so many superhero movies and reboots.
Right. You know, I mean, it was interesting. You were saying about the Beach Boys. You know, the Beach Boys stole their look from the Kingston Trio, but not their music style. They wanted to look like the Kingston Trio, but of course, they did one of their songs, Sloop John B. But they had their own sound. It was different from everybody else. It was different from all the other ones that were coming out with music back then. Phil Collins with In the Air Tonight. You know, that was revolutionary music, prog rock. That really kicked the door open on that one. Man. And we all know that Vigilante's favorite is Lizzo. I mean, he can't get enough of Lizzo right now.
Oh, stop that. You know, you're just trying. I know what he's trying to draw the bigot. And, and you are. That's bigotry. You're bigotry. He's like, I want to get bigot out of him. I'll bring up Lizzo. You could have brought any other. I was just like, for some reason, I should have known it was gonna be something stupid like this. I'm not knocking Lizzo's music, by the way. I don't really listen to it to know if it's good or bad. I've heard she can sing. I don't really know. I'm not even gonna lie. It's not my cup. No disrespect. I feel for her and her fans, man. As somebody struggling with this weight.
Yeah.
As much people make fun, I really do feel for a lot because food addiction's real. I'm struggling with it.
Oh,
fucking
right here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
it's just like I just wish. It's sad that there's a delusion being sold, but I mean, you also got to like, well, yeah. I mean, of course, people got to sell delusion because it's hard to lose weight. Yeah. So
sure, it's easy to get it though.
To me, it's sad, even though some of it can be annoying. I get why people are annoyed. And I'm not trying to see all that all the time. I say all the time, that was the joke. But I ain't trying to see all that. But it's just like, I feel for people. It's like it's weird in this culture that we start to enable so much like disorder. And it's like, man, people are really hurting themselves with this weight shit. Obesity's huge. Maybe inflation will slow that down because good Lord, I just went to the damn.
Oh, I know.
Oh, man. Hey, man, look.
Shelves are getting empty around here.
Eggs. Ooh, shit. Hey, look, I want to say what's up to Keely Chow.
Yeah,
you know,
real tight.
What's up? Hey, Keely Chow, what's going on, brother? Like to say, what's up to the long suffering?
I just want to let Veg, the long suffering Mrs. Tag is your biggest fan. I'm not kidding. I'm just letting you know that she, it's like, oh, is Vigilante going to be honest? I don't know. I hope so. It's like, oh, he's so funny. So she's your biggest fan. So I just want to let you know that.
That's cool, man. That's what's up.
I know. Sorry, 24.
Nah, it ain't.
I mean, we take the back seat. Both of us do.
It's all good, man.
You said car seat ain't wrong. Well, I try. It's such a deal. Hey, I like a lot. I'm starting to like a lot of new music. It's been a couple years since I used to be on the this shit sucks. I'm listening to that Metro Boomin like crazy. I've been listening to that shit like crazy. So I'm listening to a lot of new music now. There's a lot of originality. I just heard the new A$AP Rocky song. I'm like, man, he's going to different places. There's a lot of cool music coming out. So I don't want to just accuse this generation of all being the same.
No,
I'm really more speaking of the social media. Maybe I'm speaking more of the fans than the creators. I think there's a lot of fan base. People look for what's popular. I mean, if you ever look at the music charts, it's like outside the top 5, everybody else is like selling like 20,000 or less albums. It's like, but then the top 5 will have like 150, 200,000 album sales. So it's like everyone just likes the popular stuff. And so it's just the way attention gets distributed in the music industry is so top heavy, even though nowadays there's so many ways to make, I'm a Rob Marciano fan. We can go all day with all the independent artists that are still doing great things. I'm not trying to say that they're not such a deal though. Please don't throw at me. But I'm just saying that there's an attention vacuum shifted towards the top more so than anything. Maybe that's what I'm saying, because I think we have that's why Marvel's so big. That's why Ant-Man is still going to make a lot of money even if it's not good, because it's Marvel. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's the one thing is they throw all this advertising to things that don't need it. Really, honestly, they don't need to dump that much advertising on these big films. We know they're coming. Use some of that advertising for some of these smaller films, or in the case of music, everyone knows when, if it's Lady Gaga, Lizzo, or any of those people are going to come out, there's enough knowing that this stuff's coming out there. They get enough with the news agencies promoting it. Start pumping a little bit of advertising and pushing of these lesser known up and comers, or people that have been around, but they haven't been fully discovered yet.
Yeah, in the music industry, that ain't happening.
I know.
But luckily, I think there's enough, there's a lot of motherfuckers. So even if that is how the attention is, there's enough people that you can be, and there's enough avenues now that independent music artists can be successful and not necessarily need that. Especially in the Instagram, if they mix in a little of this, which they are, a lot of people are mixing in streaming and mixing in other stuff. So there are as much internet personalities, and we've seen how profitable that can be. So that way you're not relying on all that, the system to push you, which has been a cool little innovation, which I'm trying to hop on. So that's the thing. And I'm sorry, I feel like I've hijacked the conversation talking about the shit I'm talking about.
Well, we're all kind of contributing to this, man. You don't have to apologize. Really. I mean, this is a good conversation, and that's just it. And that's the one thing where we, yourself, Vigilante 24, myself, and other YouTubers have an opportunity to do is let's get back on that word of mouth bandwagon. Instead of going out there bitching and moaning about shit like a lot of the YouTubers out there are doing, but they don't have any, basically all it is a whine and moan fest. This is the time for us to get onto the bandwagon where we sit back and say, hey, this is something good. You should listen to this, or go see this, or watch this. And, even the littlest of our channels have an impact, because we'll tell somebody, and, well, I'm not going to use Cynthia Dildo because, he's a dildo. But Rod Thunderheart, well, here's something from us, and he'll start telling some people, and before you know, it's like that shampoo converter. Then they'll sell someone, and so on and so on and so on. And right, and we have that opportunity. We find a game that we like. Go out there and let them know, and give the pluses and minuses. Yeah, it's weak in this area, but it's strong in that one. Just like we had, we did the Last of Us. Watched that first episode, and we went through the ratings, and we gave the plus and the minuses to it, and we said, yeah, it's worth watching. 6.5.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll eventually check it out.
Yeah, so I mean, off the first episode, it was enough to keep us around to watch the other one. We have basically a 3-episode rule. If by the third episode it stinks, we're not watching anymore. If it's still there, we're going to finish through the whole series. So right now, it's 6.5. I docked it for some of the structures that they did for the storytelling. And that one girl that's in there, it's like, I don't know. I have to see if she goes wrong. That plays, I believe it's Emmy. I don't know if she's got the chops. I know she was on the Game of Thrones and various other stuff. I don't know if she's got the chop for this role. But we'll find out as we go along here with the next episode and such. You never know. So right there, go if you watch The Last of Us. I mean, I know if you like, I never played the game, but for drama, I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
All right. So you say what you tell them is just go watch the first episode.
Yeah, give it. And I think the second one is. I think the second one's being dropped today. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And I know Pacific is going to go over and watch that and have a little quick review, and of course we'll talk.
By the way, I think that's a smart way to do series, is to do week to week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think it builds more interest. But the difference is like, the only issue with week to week for me is I still like to wait.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still worried. I'm so worried about. I got burnt on too many series,
and
so I'm. But I might check. I might let a couple what I'm probably gonna do is let a couple episodes go. Like, all right, the first 3 cool. Let me binge those first 3 and then catch up, sort of thing.
Not a bad idea. I mean, I didn't find it disappointing. So that was.
You don't want to find out like in real time with everybody else as they're watching it, whether episode 4 just be whack as shit. You just.
I mean, I might catch up. I want to know that I'm not about to invest a couple of weeks in some bullshit. Because that's the thing. That's why people are still so mad about Game of Thrones, right? You put in how many years and hours into it, rewatching and then you put all these hours investment, and then it ends on some bullshit, and you'll always remember, man, that all led up to some bullshit. And so I'm so much more cautious in these series. I don't want to go that extreme, wait till the whole damn series over. Even I know people who do that. They say, you know what, I'm gonna wait till the fucking thing is over, then I watch it. But I mean, you don't want to get burnt, just like a lot of things, man. It's hard to trust these companies.
And that's a lot that you can put right on George R.R. Martin's shoulders on that one. I mean, he's been effing around and dicking around with that last book. It's never going to be, folks. I'm sorry to say, you're never going to see that book. He's too busy wanking off and talking about floppy penises, floppy wieners. But the thing is part of that really? Well, that was a joke that they had in South Park because we're talking about floppy wieners in Game of Thrones. But I mean, when you got to the point and it's like, okay, now we have to end this show, and how do we do it? This was a perfect opportunity that George R.R. Martin really step up and say, okay, let's go this way with it. But no, I mean, they were lost without a compass or a map which way to go.
Well, you know what the thing is for anybody that's a fan of Game of Thrones, they'll always have to hold on and wait if they ever want to see how this thing finishes. They're gonna have to wait until he drops the book. The thing is, if he hasn't dropped the book yet, it still gives everybody something to wait for, regardless of how many years they have to wait. And the way this new woke culture is, I think he's a little afraid of even dropping the book, because what happens is somebody takes something the wrong way and starts coming at him with he's a racist and he's this and that. And I mean, he could have gotten away with it a decade ago when he originally dropped the books. So if anything would have been fucked up about anything, he could have got nowadays if he dropped that book. And then these are the people that he cozying up to. He already knows that, if I drop this shit right now, it'll like basically it's the last things, or if I'm not mistaken. So that would basically wrap up his run of anything Game of Thrones. How much would people want to do stories about it, knowing that there's still more shit coming from the original author and creator of it? And then on top of that, he has like a whole. It's like he has a lot of different
stuff he does and stuff.
Right. That you can see. He's. I heard that he's scared of he's scared of dropping it because he don't want to get canceled because of how somebody might misinterpret. Because if you wrote it, I'm not sure if you remember. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say I'll let you. I just want to say one little thing. If you remember, I think some people did kind of go after him on some of the shit that he wrote towards like the last season of the show. At that point, they were starting to dig in on him after that flopped and saying that some of his material was after they looked back on it, but they weren't complaining that the whole time until that point. But it was woke culture that came after him. And he's scared to drop anything at this point.
I definitely think that the woke culture thing is an impact, because the rumor I had heard that he had a version of the book done and scrapped it like 5 or 6 years ago, because or maybe sooner than that. I don't know when it was. I don't think you'll ever see it.
I think I heard something similar to that,
because Ascension Dildo says he has 2 books to finish. The only way he could actually do it is if he went like Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2, and drop them both at the same time. You know what I mean? Because of that reason, what you're just talking about. He can't, if he drops one and then gets canceled, And I'm sure he never thought to do that because he probably doesn't have the balls to say, "Oh, I'm gonna finish both of these hoes," and then but that would probably be easier instead of worrying what the reaction to the one will be, and then having to then finish it after. It will be harder, but it will be easier because that way you have a complete thing and you're just completing it, splitting it, and then giving it to the publisher and then just dropping it. And you're not worrying about the reaction from one impacting the next one. He ain't got the balls to do that.
Now you want to know who he now you want to know who he's looking at? Vig, who you want to know who he's looking at?
Yeah,
that is easily a target for what we're talking about right now is Rawlins from Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
She's about to become a trillionaire after that game drops that everyone's going to buy despite all the hate. That fucking Hogwarts. My brother's I'm probably going to buy that shit if it's sweet.
Right. Yo, well, it's just a small minority that's bitching and moaning. Honestly.
Well,
they're out there with the
There's some mainstream voices talking. There's some mainstream voices fucking with her. But, it's not really... They'll talk shit about her, but like I said, this game is still going to come out, and she's still going to get her piece, and it's still going to make a lot of money. So they what they're trying to do, and I didn't mean to cut you off. This is why what they're trying to do is separate her from it in their own minds, right? And it is a small minority, but it is a powerful minority. This has always been a small minority this whole time,
right?
Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's no problem. You kind of hit exactly what it is. It's like it's going to be successful because the majority of people don't give a rip. But of course, they don't necessarily have their megaphone is buying power. So if they're buying this game and it goes boom, it will. It doesn't matter. That's the big important thing on there. Now, George R.R. Martin, I don't think he's afraid of woke culture at all. This guy. I just think that he is because he's involved with the House of Dragon. He's working on that. He's working on other projects. I think at 74 years old, and he's 74, and he does not look like he's in good health. Living down there in Santa Fe, he doesn't need to finish it. What's going to happen is he's probably going to drop, and his widow will probably get somebody to finish the series for him, just like what was his name, Richard Jordan or whatever, who did the Wheel of Time series, where he was able to finish because he died beforehand, and someone else finished like the last 3 books. So I don't think he's afraid. I think he just doesn't care. I don't think he cares. He's got his money, and this is even long before this. We're talking about like 10 years ago. And such, he was pissing and moaning because the fans were saying, "Hey, when are you going to finish the book?" He says, "I am not obligated to," even though he sat back and said he has to finish the story. It's like, well, make up your mind. I think he's just I think he's a putz. I think what we're looking at is a putz factor here. He's got his money. He can sit back on his little ranch down in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and watch Alec Baldwin running from the cops. So he's fat, happy, and sassy. 74 years of age. Who knows? It will not be done, and I don't think he's afraid of everything. He's just lazy. And that's my take on it, just from the history of how he's talked before, and basically how he's been schmarmy to his fans. These are the people that bought the books and got him the money that they have all this, and he's a little pissant, ungrateful pissant. And it even comes down to the point that he could have had the Game of Thrones last season really good if he would have given them more direction and such with it. And he's involved with House of Dragons. That's being, I guess, pretty popular. I'm sure they didn't change the formula on that, other than the fact that you got early characters. It's not based off of any books. So, I mean, obviously it's based off of the books, but not transcribing a book over. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, J.K. Rowling, it's kind of funny. She's reaping what she's sowing because she was out there being one of these woke activists out there. But the moment she doesn't disagree with one thing, look what happens. She's Satan. We need to burn her at the stake. She's a witch. She's a witch.
To be fair, she is a witch.
Yeah, that's true. But
and to also be fair, she did, kind of get what she fucking deserved, because she definitely, she was the first person I heard doing all these crazy race and gender swaps.
Oh yeah,
and she gave this crowd power, and it came back to bite her. So that's what I always say that, because it's like you gotta get what you deserve. This is all on you.
And I don't. That's why I don't feel all that sorry for her. One, she's not being fully impacted, but the other thing is But the thing is she brought it upon herself. But the thing is she's fighting back. At least got to give her points on that. So that's fun to watch. Her going out there swinging away.
At 74, you don't give a shit. Maybe you're right. He probably don't give a shit.
He
gives a shit about the money.
Well, he's got enough money. Yeah, well, he's getting enough money. How much money he's getting from HBO for that, and residuals off of the other one. The people are still buying the books. I mean, can you imagine him? He's got his little room like Scrooge McDuck, strips down and rolls around, and all the money. Who knows where some of the coins end up?
Oh boy,
I know, it's a bad image right there. But yeah, I mean, she's getting a taste of real medicine, so I don't really feel. I mean, a lot of the stuff she's going after the fact. It's like, after the books are out, then she goes on a tweet. Well, Dumbledore's gay. Okay, that came out of nowheres. Why? Why didn't he put it in the book?
Y'all ever play any of the games?
What the
Harry Potter games? Any of them?
The only one I fucked around. So it doesn't matter. I'm on your show. I fucked around with was they had their Pokemon rip-off game, and I just kind of did that as a time waster when I was sitting at work because we had one of those castles by us, and it's not out there no more. They canceled it. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, they have some pretty good ones. I remember I was playing one that had Quidditch on there. Mm-hmm.
I remember that Quidditch one.
I was killing them, dude. By the time I figured out how to play that, I was destroying that game, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, but it was fun though, man. And to be honest, from what I've heard, the one that people did enjoy playing, probably a little bit more than the rest, were the one that they had a Harry Potter Connect that you hook, that it's that you have to be in front of the Xbox Connect, and it was use the Connect, man, and for the Xbox 360, and you were able to like basically interact, like do spells, but you have to use like your hand or your finger, move it like a wand or whatever. It was very interactive. Like you ever play Star Wars Connect?
No, I never had a Connect.
Connect. Yeah, it's like they have like the Galactic Dance Off, where it's like you can have a dance off against like Princess Leia, Han Solo. C-3PO will be doing like the robotics type. I guess it's a trip, man. You also going like on a little mission to as a Padawan, man, and dude, and then they have this other they have like these little mini games, man, where you could be like a Rancor going through a city, destroying that shit, like you King Kong. Yeah, man, Star Wars Connect, man. I thought that was very interesting, man. It was some cool shit. I got that, man. I'm not sure if anybody ever rocked it, but it was pretty fun, man. And I heard Harry Potter was pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I was never with all that. I mean, I read all the books. I admit I read all the books. I've never seen all the movies. I never was all that enthralled with the Harry Potter universe. But it was, I found it fascinating. But it's like, okay, it's okay.
Right. All right.
But yeah, I know. I was about to get out of here.
Yeah,
like I said, there's something working. I can't really do both, and I apologize, but I really do want to get this done as quick as possible. And I'll let you guys know what it is. So,
please do. Yeah.
But I got to get out of here. So I appreciate being on the show.
You know what?
Love having you.
Talk to you guys later.
Yeah, and thanks for calling the bigot, by the way. I was wondering if you liked me or not.
Yeah, I don't. All right, no, I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, take care,
man. You have a good night, man.
Yep,
have a good one, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Yeah. And yeah, we'll be. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. No,
I'm still alive. Yeah, barely.
All right. Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, we'll be wrapping it up here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, if you guys like a little old school gaming stuff that's a little older, man. Xbox 360, Star Wars Connect, Harry Potter Connect.
Mm-hmm.
Those were some very interesting games to play, man. And actually, yeah, especially for the video game collection, those are some good stuff to have too, man. So
yeah, I got a 360. Maybe I can go down to the used game stores and see if they got one of those sometime.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. You know, you got to be very you got to move around a lot, and I think they also have I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they have like a fighting game, like a Marvel fighting. I can't. Let me think. What was it? Oh, I think for the Connect, I think you can play Marvel, one of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games or something like that. Yeah, it's like they tied it up to a few different things. So I have to go back and look. I can't really remember, but yeah, man. I mean, Harry Potter, man. That's an interesting deal, man. So if y'all gonna be on there, man, hell, I got an Xbox One. So
yeah, I got an Xbox. Yeah, I got one in the 360. So yeah,
I got a Connect for the 360 shouldn't be that expensive, man.
No, it shouldn't. And there's a good used game store that's in Shakopee. The prices are pretty darn good down there. So it's not like going to GameStop.
Right.
Yeah, you heard me, GameStop. I dissed you. What Prada? What? No, when it comes around the bags, that's the long suffering Cynthia Dildo. She has a weakness for bags. I'm not kidding. She likes bags. I mean, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you got a new bag, honey? No, I've always had. It's like, no, you got a new bag, don't you? Okay, but you know what? Again, I'm bad too. It's like, is that a new book? Maybe. Are those new books? Plural. Maybe.
Mrs. Old Man is coming.
Oh yeah. My mom, you better be careful. And that's exactly right, Cynthia Dildo. That's why she's with me. She got a weakness for bags. Yeah, we won't go any further than that. Let's just put it that way. She's
right.
Gonna kill me. He's gonna kill
me.
There
you go.
That's okay.
Now you got.
I led a good life.
Man.
Next week you can see who my replacement will be, and of course the memorial service.
Man, I tell you what, man. Boy. Right about now, I like to say, hold on a second. I was just Cynthia Dildo, Lord Thoth, the long suffering. Old man. What's up, old man? Yeah, I just wanted to I was trying to have my eyes fixed on the chat, and the chat just jumped, and I was like, wait a minute. So I got quiet. My bad, y'all. But,
I know. Yeah, I hate it when it bounces fast like that.
Yeah, it's I apologize, Brett Cohen. everybody, I wanted to apologize if I didn't say what's up to everybody. Rod Thunderheart, is in the house. All right, here we go. Sentient. Sox Bulletin, my man. All right. But yeah, other than that, I was about to go ahead and take off here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to acknowledge everybody, say what's up to everyone. Tell everyone thank you for being here. And if you guys want some interactive stuff that's cheap, and get you a Connect, man. And get you the Star Wars and the Harry Potter Connect. You got to have at least 5-6 feet between you and the TV, and you got to make room to move to your left, move to your right, a little forward, a little backwards. Shit, as long as you can do that, and enjoy interacting with all the different characters, man. It's some cool shit, man. I'm kind of miss doing it with my kids. Like I said, I never had the Harry Potter one, but the Star Wars one, I own that one. That one was actually pretty good. And it's funny because the Harry Potter one was always the most expensive Connect game that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot more. I think a lot of people really did enjoy it because it was a lot more expensive than all the other 360 Connect games.
Well, yeah, there was a big Harry Potter craze going at that time, and Star Wars, even though it was still good, it's it did at that time it was like Harry Potter. All the kids and all that were all hot on Harry Potter.
Right. Yeah, Harry Potter, man. Well, hopefully this Hogwarts game is everything that everybody wants it to be. And I don't know what's going to happen with some of the features that I've seen that were kind of questionable, but I guess it is what it is, man. If everybody's going to check it out and play it, I definitely want to see what it's about. So,
well, yeah, and I know people are going to go get it. So yeah, it could be interesting to see what they have to say about it. But there are people excited about this game coming out. So,
well, hopefully it surpasses everybody's expectations. And but yeah, brother, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
You got it, man. I think a good pleasure.
There you go. But I wanted to tell everybody, thank you all for coming in, kicking it with us, checking up on us, hanging out with us for as long or as little as you did. We wanted to tell all of y'all, thank y'all, and we love y'all, and we appreciate you guys coming out each and every week, supporting us and coming to see us, whether we're together or, separate. Want to say thank you for the support and the love, and none of this can be done without y'all. So just want to tell everybody, thank y'all for everything that you do for us.
Yeah, we love you all, man. And ladies, because without you, why would we do this?
There you go.
And those of you who are lurking, you're just as important. I just want to make sure. Just because you don't chat doesn't mean you're less important. So we appreciate you as well.
Yeah, appreciate your long suffering. You're the best too. I appreciate you. Thank you. And you got anything you want to say to anybody before we go?
Oh, okay. Not much other than the fact, of course, Tuesday Night Trek over at Master Paul's, the Star Wars Guys channel. That'll be on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I believe 5:00 Central Time, 6 Eastern. We'll be doing a live commentary of Strange Brew over at Pop Talk Pacific 414. So if you get a chance, come on over, and we'll supply the link to where the movie's at, so you can watch it along with us. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen Strange Brew, you need to see it. Saturday, see after how it goes if I'm going to be on Pulp Culture Minefield. And,
I own Strange Brew, man.
Yeah, it's a great film, isn't it?
Hey.
And Yeah, and Max von Sydow in there. Oh, that even makes it funnier. Oh, and of course, King Dolphin TV. That's around 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. If you want to look at that, Pop Talk Sunday morning. I'm on there, and then of course, then I hop right here to the greatest show on YouTube, the Primetime Kings. So please come on back and enjoy. Tell your friends, and we'll rock and roll because you know what? You can't go wrong with the Kings.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, and want to give a shout out to New Bomb Turk, along with Rough Girl. We miss you, Rough Girl. Hopefully,
we do.
Hopefully she'll come back to us here pretty soon.
I hope so.
And, there you go. And
screw New Bomb. He's watching the Bills. I don't care. Screw him. I'm kidding, New Bomb. I'm kidding.
That's all good. Nah. So I want to tell everybody, thank y'all. You guys enjoy the rest of your evenings. I'll be dropping a video here tomorrow, and I'll be looking forward to seeing y'all again next Sunday. So with that, it's Vigilante Williamson, New Bomb Turk, my boy, and my partner in crime over here, Baron Orman Tag. And as always, it's your boy, 24/7 Fusion Media. And we are the Primetime Kings of live stream. And we are out. Peace, y'all. Yeah.